Well, the Army draft was about 6 months away. And I knew that once I reached the age of 21, I was going to get drafted. So when Harry Schmidt, I guess, was involved, he and there were 4 other guys from Sheboygan, we all decided to join the Navy, so we wouldn't get drafted into the Army. And so we all signed up, and on the 9th of January, we all went down to Chicago. And there we were processed into the Navy and into the camp at Great Lakes. And then we took our training for 6 weeks. And the only thing that happened there was I came down with the measles. Just before we graduated, I think I got out of the sick bay about 2 weeks before that, but I was still pretty weak. And while we were standing at attention in front of all the officers and everything, we were supposed to parade down, supposed to march down. Well, it was actually in a hall, big hall, and what happened to me was I fainted. And the next thing I knew, I was on the other side of the, what do you call it, the armory, and I woke up and here I was just laying among some, I don't know, I think it was some canvas or something, and that's where I ended up. Well, once I got out of there, we went back to camp, and I was supposed to learn how to swim, and that all happened during the 2 weeks that I was in the hospital, or in sick bay. Well, when it came down to it, it ended up that I graduated from Great Lakes, and I never did learn how to swim. After we got
Wait for him to get
we
it up.
graduated from Great Lakes, we went to Baltimore by train, and the only event that happened there was we all decided to get drunk. So I bought myself a little pint of blackberry brandy. And by the time I drank most of that, we went down to Annapolis, where we were stationed, and at the Naval Academy. And by the time we all got down there, we all felt pretty good. We were probably close to drunk, but probably not all the way. But anyway, then I came, when I went aboard that ship. It was a Rita Mercedes. It was built in 1896, I believe. Anyway, it was sunk during the Spanish-American War, and they raised it, and then it went to somewhere up in one of the New England states. And then I think after the First World War, it went down to Annapolis. And he was there from then on as a station ship, where the captain lived aboard the ship with his family. He was the only captain in the Navy that lived aboard a ship with his family. Anyway, he was in charge of the whole Chesapeake Bay area. And the Universities was a ship which people could come aboard on the weekends, and they could go around the ship, and it was a tourist kind of a thing. Anyway, my job as an electrician was to take care of some batteries aboard the APL across the dock in case of an emergency where the lights would go out, the batteries would take over. And then on top of that, they gave me the job to show movies with 2 projectors. And that was with the 35 millimeter cameras. And I did that all the way until I got transferred. And I also had the job of replacing light bulbs, stuff like that, you know, all little jobs. And then after we left the ship and got transferred to Little Creek, Virginia. And there we took our training. We took our training aboard those old LSTs that were sort of, well, they were pretty junky. They were all used in the Second World War, and well, by the time we got down there, they were constantly swiping parts off of one and another one. They had to do that to keep them running. Anyway, it was a DC ship. We trained aboard those things for about a month or so. And then after that period of time, we went on a train to Bath, Maine. And there we put a new ship into commission. It was a LST 1157. And they went through all the procedures. They had a celebration, and they were all, well, as far as I could remember, they had a lot of people there, and we were all on that ship at the same time. They took our pictures and whatnot all. And when the ship went down into the water, and it was quite a splash. You can remember that. And well, anyway, we went aboard the ship, and we had to take it down along the coast, the Atlantic coast, on a shakedown. That's what they call it. It was a shakedown. And there was a good reason for that. While we were going down, they had 2 smokestacks, one on each side of the ship for the engines. And it had a port and starboard engine room. And there were 2 big diesel engines in each room, and an auxiliary generator, which was a 300 watt, which we made our electricity. And then we had one 100 watt kW, 100 kW, yeah, for an auxiliary in the boiler room. Well, while we were going down the Atlantic Ocean, the something happened causing oil to come flying out of the chimneys or stacks. And so that was one problem. And then after we got down to Little Creek, Virginia, we went on a shakedown cruise, and I can remember I was standing in front of the switchboard watching the power on the switchboard, and the captain yells down, "Security agents! Security agents!" Well, here, the guy that was supposed to take care of the engines went up to the bathroom. And I wasn't sure what to do. I saw a lever on each side for the engines, a big long lever, and I just pulled that back and I cut the engines down. Anyway, here what happened, the ship was equipped with hydraulic operation where they could the propellers could go forward or reverse, and it was a variable pitch propeller for each engine room. And something happened where the hydraulic control box all came apart. It was just a mess. After we saw what happened, they opened it up, and so that's why this captain was pretty desperate, because we were heading toward the dock when this happened. And when he said security agents, he really meant security agents. So then we went from there down to through the Panama Canal. And
What was that like, going through the Panama Canal?
oh, that was very interesting. About we went on. We moored at the first place. I think it was in Cologne. I'm not sure anymore, but anyway, that was on the Atlantic side. And all I can remember was that the captain brought a dog aboard the ship. And he was supposed to be like a mascot, you know. Well, anyway, then we went down through that canal, and it was very hot. In fact, the engine room got to around 116 degrees, and being down in the engine room 116 degrees is pretty hot. We always had to stand in front of that the fans, because otherwise it was unbearable. So anyway, we went through the Panama Canal. We went from one. When you went through the canal, you go from one level to another level and another level, and then you're down to the level of the Pacific Ocean. We went up along the Baja Peninsula, and we came into California, San Diego, and we moored the ship right along the dock where Broadway Avenue was. We went on Liberty. We walked right up the main street, and that was the first time that I got into San Diego. And by the way, we had I don't know how many Marines there was. I think there were like, it was a large amount of Marines aboard that ship. And while we were going down along the Atlantic and through the Panama Canal, these were all young kids. And they all ended up throwing up and whatnot all. But some of them were really sick where they had to go to sick bay. They were throwing up blood. Anyway, so they went out to those Marines went to the 29 Palm base in the middle of the desert. And so that's all we know about them. And then when we stayed in San Diego for a time, I can't say exactly how long. And so then we left San Diego and we went out into the ocean, Pacific Ocean, and there the captain opened up his letter for what our duty was going to be. And here we got attached automatically to the Atomic Energy Commission. And so he told us that we're going to go to Hawaii, to Honolulu, and there we're going to stay there for about a month, and then we're going to go to the Marshall Islands. This was 1953, I think it was. And as we were getting closer to the islands, our ship got hotter and hotter, and they just got done shooting off a hydrogen bomb. It was March 1st of that year, I can still remember that. And that's when Japanese fishermen got contaminated, big time. They were fishing out in the ocean somewhere along that, where that bomb shot off. And while we were coming in there, it was actually getting hotter and hotter. All the canvas and everything was getting hotter. We took radiation readings, and by the time we got in there, they decided to put sprinkler systems aboard our ship. All the canvas that we had on the ship had to be thrown overboard. They wash off the whole top of the deck and everything because of the radiation that we captured, from the falling dust. And then, after the first bomb was shut off, we were involved with 4 atomic bombs. They shot those off in the early morning hours or in the night. And we could see some of them when I didn't have the duty. I had the duty maybe once or twice, but a couple of them I did see shot off. And they were like a welder's torch, they were sort of a bluish flash, and that's all you saw. And as far as the distance that these bombs were, I don't recall how far we were from where the blast area was. But anyway, we went through all those, and then we had to go to the island of
Was it Bikini?
Bikini, yeah, Bikini. That's what it was. Bikini Island. Anyway, we laid all those mines that were brought aboard our ship while we were in Hawaii. I forgot about that. They had about I think there were like a good 150 mines. They laid those all at different depths. And they told us at that time that those mines were laid according to the New York Harbor, as far as distance was concerned. And so about that time that after they got them laid out, that we took off. The bomb itself was about a block away. And it was aboard a barge, like in a double garage. So all I can remember about it. And so we went that evening about 50 miles away, which was going to be opposite of the blast according to the wind. So where we were to the east or to the west, that I couldn't say. But it was opposite of the wind. So then they shot this bomb off. The captain said to us, the bomb is going to be a pisser. It's going to be a big bomb. And it's going to be, I don't know how many whatever it was. Had to put our hands over our eyes. This was early in the morning, it was still dark out. We put our hands over our eyes, our head between our knees, counted down, and the bomb blast took off. And everything was lit up from horizon to horizon. It was orange in color. The whole, from one end to the horizon to the other, it was all orange. The bomb itself, the ball of where the fire was, that was 6 miles across. The mushroom was at least, I would say, maybe twice that length. The sky was clear, and it was unbelievable to see something like that. It's the first thing that comes to your mind is, what the hell has these people, what are they playing with? It's ridiculous to see a mushroom and a bomb that's 6 miles across. It's all fire. Anyway, that's what happened. And then after that was shot off, then we went in to that same area where the bomb was shut off, and then right into the Bikini Atoll. The captain said, we're going to make water. We made water. Evaporators made water, and nothing was done about it. It was all forgotten. That evening, the sky was beautiful. Every color of the rainbow. The sky was just beautiful. That's all you could say about it. And all I can remember that I saw two
Manta rays?
probably that's what I was
Manta rays? They're
Yeah.
kind of like,
They were huge. They were swimming on top of the water. So they survived that bomb. And but other than that, that's all I can remember. They took our cameras away, so we couldn't take any pictures. So then after that, we came in, we made water, and we stayed there for a couple of days, and then they retrieved those mines. They only retrieved about 2 or 3 of them. The rest of them were gone. They disappeared.
They disappear or blow up, you think?
Yeah, they had to blow up. And the ones that they retrieved, there was nothing left of them. That wasn't a good thing to waste their time on. Those mines were not functional at the time.
Can I ask a question? I know you kind of made a comment the first time you saw this fireball
Yeah.
and you know, what have we created? I mean, how could anybody think of this thing?
Yeah.
So, give me your final thoughts on this whole weapon that was conceived to stop war, but yet where we are today in 2017, what are your thoughts? Because you were there, very few people were. And very few people will ever see what you have witnessed.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know how to really word that. After the bomb was shot off, it was unbelievable as to what we all saw, and it really makes you wonder what man has been playing around with. It's unbelievable that the size of that bomb, being that it was 6 miles across. Well, geez, I don't know how to say this.
No, that's okay. You know, it's a hard thing. I mean, when you know, because when you were telling the story, you could see the emotion, and again, you can't muster that up automatically.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about it and seeing, you know, it's beautiful and majestic, but yet so horrifying at the same time.
Yeah.
But like you say, how do you make sense out of any of this?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Why does man think he has to do that?
It's very hard to explain the thinking that goes with our country involved with that kind of a weapon, because to begin with, anything that will blow up something that, well, I don't know how to say that.
I think just by trying to process that is enough.
Yeah.
I mean, in your head, because how do you describe something that is, yet I'm sure it's beautiful to see, but yet it's so horrifying what it was designed for. And we're here today.
Luckily, it's not been used regularly. Like
Right.
at the time,
Well,
but
I know.
who thought to make it?
Or so, because we had to go aboard some of those ships that they had in that area. A lot of the ships were gone; they were just sunk. But we had to go aboard bigger ships, and we took a regular fire hose, and we had a hose down the ships, and they were, of course, very hot. So you could always stay aboard those ships for, I believe it was like 10 minutes. And we had to get off, and once we were exposed for 10 minutes, we we were told to get off, and then I can remember we had to go on small craft, very small craft, that we had to chip the paint off because the paint was all full of radiation. Why they did that, I don't know. But anyway, we were told to do that. And we did that for a couple of days. And I can remember using a Geiger counter. And you talk about being hot, those things were hot. And I can still remember that those instruments that we had were the readings were in Rankins, which is the hottest. And we were down to 1 and 2 Rankins. And it couldn't get any worse than that. So it was hot. And that's one reason why I still think I ended up with cancer. Because of all the radiation that I was exposed to. And yeah, it was.
You did want to find out when you went to the VA that time. You wanted to find out, remember, if any of the men that he was with ended up with the same kind of problem, but you never did get an answer from
No,
them.
I never did get an answer. The lady that came here, she says that there was only 1 or 2 guys still alive that were in that group of men that were.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that lady.
Oh yeah, she said.
He came and took his blood.
Yeah.
After all those years, he came and took blood from him.
Did they tell you anything?
No, you never,
About your blood?
you never got any kind of results out of it.
No.
So, how are you physically now?
Physically, I'm okay.
The only cancer he
except
has
I
is
got all
it's all skin cancer.
This cancer in different places. And it's to the point, where I started getting this cancer when I was around 40.
That's all it takes, I think.
It's just one after another. I think I had like 50 operations.
Oh, not 50.
Yeah, 50. Yeah.
You'd go 4 or 5
No,
at a
I'm talking
time.
about the individual cancers. It was 50 times.
But he had some big ones taken out.
Oh
that were
yeah,
not-
half my face was cut away
Yeah,
here.
in his neck he had some.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
But luckily none of it was melanoma. So, it's always good. Yeah.
Eddie gave me a check every month now for 10%. What do you call it?
Disability.
Disability, which is only $100-some.
But that's,
But I'll take it.
he never asked for it, they just gave it to him. So.
Anyway, after that all happened, then we went to Kwajalein, and we had to pick up supplies. I can remember that. And from there, we went to the island of Majuro. Oh, I take that back. We were onto the island of Rongelap, when we picked up all the natives that lived on that island. And these natives had to live aboard our ship for, probably a week or so, while we from there we went to Majuro, and we had to build little garage homes for these natives. And so I think that after that was taken care of. Oh, one thing I have to say, a lot of those natives suffered a lot of radiation burns. The kids had their hair all shaved off, and a lot of the men that were fishing out in the Bikini Atoll, not the Bikini, the atoll where Rongelap was, they had radiation burns on their ears. The skin was all burned off, and yeah, and we took them down to the island of Majuro, and then after we built all those homes for them, and that's about all I can remember. We went back to Hawaii after that happened. And then we spent about a week in Hawaii, and then we went back down to San Diego.
And then that was pretty much your tour of duty?
No, then after we went to San Diego for about a week or so, we went up to Vallejo, California. There, our ship went into dry dock, and we spent. Well, actually, I wasn't there very long because I was going to get shipped home. My duty was over, and I can remember going to Treasure Island. That's where we got our last assignment, and I can remember I bumped into what's his name? I don't even remember. But he was from Sheboygan. Jack Grassy, that's where it was. Jack Grassy. Yeah. And I can remember that from there on I took a train home.
And then you went and got a cup of coffee.
Well, who knows what I did? Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, when I got home, I was, well, I didn't really feel like even looking for a job. Well, it wasn't long, and all of a sudden I got a phone call from a company called Paper Box Specialty. And they told me to come in. They interviewed me, and then I got a job. That's where I worked for 6 years.
And then when did you go get a cup of coffee?
Well, I'll tell you, after I got that job, then I was going around Sheboygan, off and on. You know, there were some friends that I still had in Sheboygan, and one of them was well, let's see, it was Dick Wirtz and Bob Davis and so on, and was Hamlick was another one, Don Hamlick.
I knew them all.
Yeah. Well,
Got to
anyway,
know them all.
one day I was in a restaurant at the Palladium, and I was just drinking a cup of coffee, and
See, he's getting at.
who comes into the restaurant with Joann? And she was with a bunch of girls, and their friend June was working there. So anyway, when I saw her, I thought, wow, I'm going to marry that girl.
Did Do you know that he never said that to me until once when we were out by Kathy on the farm, and I had never heard him say that? He's telling the kids that he saw me and that's what he said, and I did not know that all those years.
And I'll be darned if that night she comes in there at the Palladium at that.
Where the dance?
There was a band there,
Yeah.
and I was there too. I went with Don Hadley to this band, and there she was, and she introduced herself, and I introduced myself, and we
Dance.
from then on.
The next day you said you want to go for a ride on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. It was just
That was
like,
it.
it was just like a miracle.
I always said God had that in his plans, and we were not gonna, that wasn't gonna get away from us. That's the way it was meant to be.
Yeah.
So how many years of marriage now?
Well, this year must be 62, right?
55,
Yeah, married
45,
55,
and 55,
2,
and
2017, yeah.
62.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's when we had our anniversary party, the 60th, the kids gave us. One of the grandchildren gave us that. But we're dancing at Paul's wedding, my grandson's wedding, on that picture, and they gave us the thing then on the anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
They thought it was a nice picture, yeah.
Any other thoughts?
Well, I guess that's about it.
Say that again.
That's about it.
One more time.
That's about it.